What is going on, people? Good morning. We are trying something different today. We are doing car talk. I spend a lot of time in my car, so it feels like a nap time to just chat, debrief football, talk about the football world, not necessarily Manchester United, although there probably will be a heavy focus on that. So get down in the comments, let me know what you want to talk about, any different topics that are coming up that I might not have heard about, and we'll have a chat about it. I think today I want to talk specifically about Lammens, specifically about goalkeepers. And Gary Neville did a podcast after the game, as he always does. Jamie Carragher spoke about the top 10 Premier League goalkeepers, so we'll have a little debrief for that as well. Starting on Lammens, I mean, last night I thought he was superb. That was the epitome of what I want from a goalkeeper at Manchester United. Cool, calm, collected, came out and claimed high balls when needed, took pressure off his defence. And I've spoken a lot about Edwin van der Sar being my favourite keeper at Manchester United. Now, I probably wasn't old enough to see like the true greatness of Schmeichel. I know a lot of Manchester United fans, Gary Neville included, rate Schmeichel higher than van der Sar. But for me, van der Sar was so clean with it. We'd gone through like a period of having like Ben Foster, Kujak, there was loads of goalkeepers, weren't there, in between. And van der Sar just came in with this ability to catch the ball and it not bounce, and ability to just take everything in his stride. And for me, that was like the first representation of a great goalkeeper. And Lammens has got elements of that in terms of, there was a couple of strikes last night where I was thinking, Jimmy Garner hit one and Idrissa Gueye hit one. And good strikes, not necessarily top ins, not necessarily down low, but he held him, he took him in. He just, everything about him just screams calmness. And I think this Manchester United team in particular needs that. You think Harry Maguire, you think of Luke Shaw can get a little bit calamitous in certain scenarios. And I think having a keeper like that behind him just makes it so much easier for them to just crack on and get on with their game. And I spoke about this as well the other week in terms of who had the more difficult job coming into Manchester United. Was it De Gea? Was it Lammens? Because you look at De Gea, he came in when Edwin van der Sar just won the double. Yeah, won the double. Like, that is one of the most difficult times you could come in and expect to replace the goalkeeper. But then, conversely, on the other side of that, Lammens has come in after the string of bad goalkeeping from Onana, from Bayern, from the end of David De Gea even, where we've lost all confidence in a keeper's ability to just do the basics. And a young, unproven, he was not necessarily criticised, but people were saying, why have we not gone out and got a Donnarumma and Emi Martinez? And I was in a similar-ish mould where I didn't really know much about him, but you give him the opportunity. And I remember that first game at Old Trafford, he came out and he caught a ball in like the 88th minute, and the whole stadium erupted. If that's not a telltale sign, when your goalkeeper comes out and catches a ball, which is his job, by the way, and the whole ground erupts in applause, I think for me that shows the level Manchester United have been at in terms of goalkeeping over the last few years. And is he an elite shot stopper? I don't think he is quite yet, but he's certainly got the level of ability to get to that point. I think he goes with the wrong hand sometimes. There was a goal against Brighton where I think he probably should have gone with his other hand. And there was another one, a free kick. I can't quite remember who it was. But in terms of his expected goals, he's about on par. I think last time I looked, he was literally neck and neck. So the expected goals he'd faced and the expected shots, or the expected that he'd saved, was about bang on. Now, that's proof in the pudding that he's not elite, but he's very good. Like, if you look at a striker who's outperforming their XG, you tend to say, well, they're either having like a very good purple patch, or they're elite like Haaland, who consistently outperforms. Now, Lammens being on par with that, I think he's fine for this time. Now, when he gets to 25, 26, he's been here a few years, I think you're going to expect a little bit more from him in terms of outperforming that and saving us points. But for now, I think he's perfect at what he's doing. And Van der Sar spoke about him, Gary Neville spoke about him, similar type of vein in terms of there was pressure on him coming in to do this job, but I think he's come in, he's calm, he looks so assured with what he's doing, and for me, he is a potential superstar for Manchester United. And I don't know who recruited him, I don't know whether Vivell was involved with it, Wilcox, but there was obviously a debate between him and Emi Martinez, and you have to look at it now when you say Manchester United have well and truly made the right decision there to go and get him. The Gary Neville podcast, I think Gary Neville's one of them, isn't he? Like, he spoke about Sesko a little bit as well, and he spoke about he's not going to be a perfect striker, and he kind of didn't compare him to Gyökeres, but put him in the same conversation. I don't see that as a conversation, I'll be brutally honest. But Sesko's scoring frequency is higher than all of the other strikers barring Ekitike. So if you look at Gyökeres, who has scored more goals, João Pedro, Voltemade, all scored more goals, but the scoring frequency, Sesko is higher. That for me just shows the level of ability he's got in terms of goal scoring. He's starting to show that now. He's becoming a really important player off the bench. And I think people are saying, should he start now? Or should he, as Carrick kind of being justified in not starting him? And I think, for me, if it was any other position on the pitch, like a winger had come on and impacted the game, I maybe wouldn't be clamouring for him to start. But I've always got this thing with strikers, play like when they're hot, play them. Do you know what I mean? Because strikers can come and go in terms of purple patches. And Sesko's kind of demonstrated that, like going through a couple of games scoring the goals. And I think now, the noise for him to play against Crystal Palace, if he doesn't, it's going to be monumental for Carrick, I'll be honest. But I thought he was very good last night. And then this list, the Premier League, I think the stipulation was Carragher must have done it that just before a Monday Night Football, then Gary Neville discussed it. The top 10 Premier League goalkeepers of all time. And Carragher had Cech at number 1, which I was a bit bamboozled with to start. But then he also had David De Gea above Edwin van der Sar. I just can't get along with that, I'll be brutally honest. I think if we're looking at Premier League all time, from my perspective, I'd probably go, I'll put Schmeichel there, even though I've just said that I think Van der Sar is like my top one. So you're going Van der Sar. I didn't really see much of David Seaman. Now Gary Neville's put Seaman at second. I think Carragher had him down at like 9th. I'd probably go Schmeichel, Cech, Van der Sar as the top 3. In at number 4, Alisson. Number 5, probably Seaman in there just for what he did in terms of longevity. But like I say, I didn't really see that much of David Seaman. And then you're into like your Courtois, your David De Gea's, your Edisons. And I think that's all kind of like a blurred lines, isn't it? Because Edison won more titles, but I think David De Gea was a better shot stopper, better goalkeeper all round. Edison obviously dramatically better with his feet. And then Courtois, he's gone on to be like one of the greatest keepers we've probably ever seen, isn't he? Like is he top 15 goalkeepers of all time? Courtois, you'd say. Is that overkill? Have I got more in head with that? I don't know. But yeah, I think it was interesting, like the different perspective that people have on goalkeepers, and there's a lot of different styles in there. You think of Schmeichel and Alisson maybe in a similar vein in terms of very good one-on-one ability to close down angles, and then you think of like an Edison, like really, really good and competent with his feet, not necessarily an elite level goalkeeper. And then you've got the in-betweens like Petr Cech or David Seaman, just an all-round really good goalkeeper. And I was thinking, where does Lammens fit in that in terms of stylistically? I think he probably falls maybe-ish like a Cech, maybe like a Courtois style in terms of quite versatile all-round, decent-ish with his feet, not like an overplayer and overcomplicator. And then you've got he's not a De Gea in terms of like an elite shot stopper. So I think he's probably in that Czech, Seaman, Courtois-ish mould. Now, I'm not saying he's on that level. What I'm saying is, stylistically, where does he fit? It was interesting. And then, finally, I think Gary Neville spoke about the top 4 race, and he said Manchester United are kind of nailed on now. And I tend to agree. We're 3 points ahead of Chelsea. Chelsea have got Arsenal. Chelsea have got Arsenal this weekend, which is going to be a difficult game. Liverpool, I don't think, did themselves any favours in terms of performance against Forest, but Manchester United just keep doing our jobs. We've got Palace at the weekend. Palace are in a bit of free fall in terms of results, performances. They're a bit all over. They've lost Gueye now, obviously. So it's not going to be an easy game, that, by any means, but I think it's one where you bounce into it after last night and you get a bit of confidence. Maybe just make it a little bit easier. Go there, win 2-0, come home, get the points. I'm not asking for a 4-5-0. I'm asking for a comfortable, chilled out victory. And then you're looking at, if we can open the gap to 6 points on Chelsea with 9 games to go, they've still got Champions League. Liverpool still got Champions League currently. Obviously, Aston Villa still got Champions League. We should really be looking at that 3rd spot and saying, right, we're going to go for it. And then there's talk of the title race in there. I mean, we're not in a title race. But what I will say is, just test the waters. See where we're at. City and Arsenal still have each other to play. This isn't a points total that hasn't been overturned before. So you've just got to stick in. You've got to stick it out. You've got to be rugged. You've got to win games when you would need to win them. And just keep battling on. Top 4, I think, would be a monumental achievement, considering where we were under Ruben Amorim, considering the start to the season. I was looking at us thinking we were going to finish 10th or 12th. So to get back in the Champions League, not only for the financial side, just the going to Old Trafford and watching a Champions League game would be nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, I think it's an interesting one, and I think the next 2 to 3 weeks are going to see a lot of change in the Premier League. Now, all these games are kicking in. Big games coming up. Arsenal, Chelsea, I think is a big one. City, Arsenal in a few weeks is a big one. United just need to stay in and about that area. Get down in the comments. Let me know what your all-time Premier League top 10 is. Probably do top 5, because top 10, I think it gets a bit distorted under 5, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Let me know what you thought of Lammens, and let me know what you think of this. Do you want me to just ramble in the car? I know it's not the perfect setting, is it? You've got good views out the window. Can you see? We're in the lovely area in terms of greenery, so you've got a bit of a view out the window. You don't have to listen to me ramble, do you? So I'll try and do a few more. It's getting later in the morning, isn't it now? So it's 8:10. Have a great day, people. Hopefully we see Manchester United kind of kick on from last night. Have a lovely day. I will see you in the next one.